Hello, this is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day this Monday, April 24th, 2023. Today's tip comes from Damages Evolving, and we have a special guest. David Ball himself is here to read us the tip. Good morning, David.
And how are you, Michael?
Wonderful. What great wisdom do you have for us today?
This is about freedom. This one's about freedom. Freedom, this is a quote from the book. Freedom to control our choices is precious. Its loss is a powerful damages driver. Losses of freedom frame the harms in a context that jurors easily relate to themselves and empathize with. And losses of freedoms show the injury's greater consequences. What I think I mean by that, what I know I mean by it, is the more you can find ways to relate the losses directly to who the juror is and not ask them to make a conscious cognitive leap. For example, you'll say, she lost her ability to plant her beloved tulips every spring. That meant everything to her. I don't care what you say or do after that. Nobody cares about her petunias. They just don't. And when you say, try to imagine what it'd be like to lose the thing a person found the most precious to themselves. And I'm still thinking petunias or golf or lifting up their grandchild. Who cares? I have no grandchildren. I don't like petunias, and I'm certainly not going to play golf. And that's how jurists sit there listening to this stuff. It's all cognitive. It's the top part of the brain. That's not your great damages driver. You want to get something working in there that says, my God, we cannot let that happen to human beings. It becomes an immediate threat. If you hear there's been a murder across town, that's terrible, and you don't like it, but it has nowhere near the impact as if you found out the murder was in the house next door to you. And that's the bridge we're trying to cross here. That's the link we're trying to combine. So when you say she's lost the freedom to be able to choose to go plant her petunias that afternoon, it is very precious to her. It might be somebody else that might feel that way about their grandchildren. Somebody might feel that way about going to work, that whatever it is, if you don't have the freedom to do it, if they took away your freedom to get up and walk across the room when you want to, if you frame every loss like that as a loss of freedom, a loss of your free choice, that is a huge loss. Look at what just happened with the whole COVID vaccine. People who didn't really worry about the consequences of the vaccine got all heated up about this thing of, you're taking away my freedom to control my body. Don't particularly want to allow that freedom necessarily to women who would like to have an abortion, but nonetheless, it is a matter of free choice, which is a very precious thing to most cultures in America. There are very few that don't find that very powerful. And of course, it's inbred in us because our brains are so attuned to making choices with whatever context we're in, that the important choices are the ones that are ours. I will pick up a gun and go fight a battle for something that is important to me. Whereas if I'm forced to pick up a gun and go fight a battle for something that's just important to some leaders or some great powers, I ain't the same soldier. We're witnessing this, as of this recording, which might be a little bit earlier than the day, in the Ukraine, where Russia's sending in troops who don't see really why they're there, which is one of the reasons the Ukraine is so far managing to survive. It's always true. The only thing that keeps those soldiers moving is they're going to get shot in the head if they don't do it. Think back through all history, those horrible kinds of battles they had. Whereas every so often somebody comes along like Henry V and talks to people and says, here's why you want to participate in this, whatever it is. That's what good coaches do in the locker room. They talk about what is important to you. You don't want to lose this. You want to gain that. Well, freedom is an automatic for most Americans. It relates or petunias to my whatever it is that is important to me. I don't even need to make that leap. Freedom in itself to choose is a very powerful driver, and I will feel empathy for the person who's lost it. And it's frankly hard for me to feel empathy with a person I don't know for not being able to pick up a grandchild I don't know, or not being able to play golf or plant your petunias. That's what this point is about.
So it's not the activity. There's always going to be an activity, a functional loss, and maybe a juror will relate to that. Maybe not. Maybe they hate golf. Maybe they like golf. Maybe they like petunias or not. But what everyone will relate to, and you have to get those stories out in direct, but then what the jurors will relate to, if I'm understanding you right, is not that they can't play golf, but they took away the choice that that person had when they were able-bodied. They took away from them the choice of doing what they love and fill in the blank.
Yes, and this comes out of countless jurors having told us in post-trial interviews, or we hear it in focus groups all the time. So they can't read anymore. Watch television. I watch television. I'm not complaining. I'm not asking anybody to give me millions of dollars. And you can't criticize those people. They don't understand that loss. The most they can do is make a cognitive, conscious leap out of their parts of their brain that drive their decision making and into their conscious brain that has almost nothing to do with driving their decision making. That sounds weird, but we know that's true. No? By the time you're thinking about what choice to make consciously, the rest of your brain's pretty much already made the choice. We want to get to that part of the brain. That's where the empathy comes from that makes us feel things that drives what we do. Even if you're not a very empathic person, it still gets there, because even not very many empathic, they still have that drive when it is something that relates to them. Oh my God, the poor, look, if I planted petunias and understood that, I would say, oh my God, the poor woman, give her everything she's asking for. She can't plant petunias anymore, because that's automatic. I empathize with that loss. I know what it's like that somebody grabs my petunias. I know what it's like when somebody grabs my freedom. And so do most jurors. And so now you've got a great driver. It's a positive driver, and it is an honest driver. There's no gimmick about this whatsoever.
Thank you for this very practical advice and wisdom this Monday. Take care, David.
Thank you, Mike.
Let's now take a deep breath together. And as we do so, just be aware, be grateful to be alive today, this Monday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world. May our efforts and the time we spend today help repair the world. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients and champion their stories. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just remind you, it's Monday. Wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.